Alright, so hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Pirate Report, WSOU News podcast delivering in-depth coverage of everything from national news to pop culture. I'm Caitlin Barrar, joined by
Ricky Blanco.
Liam Page.
Christine Franco.
Alright, and to get us started today, I know Ricky, you had something about very local news, actually.
Indeed, I have very local news here, and very recent ones. So as of Tuesday, of this week, there's been a lot of protesting, outside of a New Jersey Immigration Detention Center, which is Delaney Hall, which is like about 20 minutes away from us at Seton Hall. And here, lawmakers and demonstrators have been gathering around for days, alleging that the facility where the detainees are waged with a hunger strike and inedible food and lack of access to just medical care. I'm getting this article from NBC, but there are plenty on this topic. And a very interesting quote that I found from the managing attorney for the law group, which represents the detainees of all of Delaney Hall in Newark. She's stating that her clients have been given expired food and meals with worms in it, and saying that detainees are engaging in a hunger strike over the weekend over these conditions. And as a result, they have been placed in solitary confinement or just simply transferred to other facilities. Some of the detainees have been released in recent months, because they were not receiving medications and they weren't getting better. And some of the detainees were put into the facility while already in treatment for cancer, and they have not been followed up for this treatment. So as a result, they have just let them go. It does not disclose where they are, what the conditions what condition they're in right now. But there's a lot of detainees with cancer and diabetes, and they have just been let go. But it is inconclusive as to where they are or what the follow-ups are, or if they're back with their families. I just not really say anything, but alas, a lot of our current lawmakers are there. I know Musab Ali, who has been running for a chair in Jersey City and ran for mayor of Jersey City last year. If you followed our coverage from last year, maybe you're familiar with him, but he was there and he was reporting live from there, as well as our current governor, Mike Sherrill, gave a statement regarding the facilities and the hunger strikes, and she spoke up against it. However, I don't think much has changed since she made a statement on Tuesday, because this hunger strike is still going and these protesting is still going. And there's a lot of videos about it. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but a lot of these videos are pretty graphic. There are people ICE agents pepper spraying lawmakers in their on their eyes and their face. Senator Andy Kim is there and also was pepper sprayed and was there's a video of it on social media, which I'm sure we can attach and find at some point. But yeah, so he also made a statement about it that, saying that Delaney Hall is a failure. If this administration is a failure, the only way to make this right for our community is to shut it down and make sure the failures we are seeing never happen again. And I feel a lot of lawmakers in our area have made a statement similar, and I'm kind of like in solidarity of that statement. I know that Cory Booker was very vocal about it. I haven't seen anything from this time around, but I have seen him at Delaney Hall before, speaking up against like the facility even being put in place. I'm not really sure that he is there, but I know Ross Barka is there again. He was there last time. He's there again, which is the mayor of Newark. And he said that they're going to request assistance from the governor and empower the attorney general to immediately investigate Delaney Hall. So they are claiming, allegedly, to take action against these conditions and whatnot. I think a lot of the like backlash from this, I have read some very interesting quotes from the administration's like I guess followers and appointees in New Jersey, that they're saying that like this is like a I think one of the quotes is like, this is like a Democrat hoax and they're all just coming together to complain, which I thought was like a very interesting way to put it, and I guess charge back at like allegations of, you know, people eating worms. Um, and I don't know. I guess I wanted to ask you guys, like, have you seen the protesters from like last time, like back in I think it's like around this time last year actually. Um, and I mean, what do you think like now of these like conditions?
I have seen like some videos, like more recently. I haven't seen them like in the past. I honestly think it's very disheartening. One of the things I have been following is them transferring Martin Soto, which is a Peruvian. Hold on. Wait, can someone talk really quick? My stepdad needs to get his shoe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. When we look at these protests, um, it's kind of it's almost like everything we're taking is just about hearsay, because they're saying absolutely contradictory statements from the Trump administration, and ICE officials, and what the protesters are, and what's going on there. The Trump administration says that these are rapists, terrorists, etc., pedophiles, and that they're giving them sanitary conditions and fresh water and comprehensive medical care. And on the other side, the reports are just about the opposite. You know, obviously, since the strike, the ICE workers haven't been able to really give them the same conditions that were allowed in the past. So there's obviously going to be a noticeable decrease there. But you know, the reports from these ICE agencies that these aren't super violent criminals. They're low level offenders, probably, who just have the crime of entering the country illegally, and they're just being held here until they can be returned to their country of origin. Um, my big issue with this is they're holding them for long periods of time. I think that we should, if mass deportations are to continue, then I think we need to carve out a section of the judicial system specifically for them. We need to be able to handle these type of cases in a way that does not keep these people here for months on end in these facilities, because you know, there's something to be said about the United States jailing system, and that it is a continuation of slavery. They're paying these people, if they're paying them, $1 a day for labor, and it's just not. We don't have a great jail system. I would really prefer that these people go back to their country of origin, if that's the final ruling, than to have them sit in these facilities, because we don't treat these people very well. We treat them with a lot of animosity, no matter the charge, because the assumption is guilty as the worst offender, and so the people that are holding them here don't really have the best attitude for them. So while I don't believe that conditions are as terrible as they say, I also don't believe that they're as good as they would like you to believe. So I guess that's my stance on it. I don't want these people to be sitting here months on end. At the same time, I'm glad that they're getting due process at the very least. And yeah, that's about as much as I've got to say.
Okay, I'm back. So one of the aspects of this specific story that I've kind of been following is Martin Soto. He was a detainee that was in Delaney, has been in Delaney Hall. He's a Peruvian immigrant, which is kind of why it's so disheartening to me because I'm from Peru, my country. But he was like, groups have been saying like he was one of the leaders and like a central figure in this hunger strike. And he was told, allegedly, he was told on Sunday that he would be released eventually, but he was actually given his stuff back and told that he was going to be released, but then they were transferring him to another facility because his wife has been like a really active figure in organizing these protests. She claims she was told that if the protests die down, that there's a possibility that his conditions could improve or he can be let out. DHS has not confirmed these allegations, but I feel like the way DHS and ICE have been going about like these situations is just very odd. Like they're very secretive. They don't want to like communicate much. I feel like they are not very truthful in some of these situations. But he was eventually transferred after like protesters like have tried to stop the van that was taking. I believe he's in a facility in Elizabeth now, which isn't too far. But it's just like odd. The whole situation is very odd. I hope they can work something out. I really hope the protesters don't stop because I feel like if we stop, then that just means like, okay, they're just going to let us do whatever. It's very odd the way I saw a video of our governor, Mikey Sherrill, like trying to go, and like take a look and go, and they were like, no, you can't go in. And that's just like, they go about it very secretively and like, oh, you cannot come in here. And it's just very odd. So if you don't have anything to hide and you're saying the conditions are good and you're treating them well, then why can't political leaders go in and look around? But yeah, I just hope something is done, especially about his situation. And I hope the protesters don't die down and keep fighting for better conditions, because if you're going to keep saying you want immigration reform and you want like mass deportations and you want to do it, you should do it the right way, if there even is a right way. And if the right way is not the way they're going about it. So that's my.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point. I mean, especially like not being able to come in. I mean, Delaney Hall is like, I'm pretty sure all of like the detentions centers here in New Jersey are privately owned, but I know specifically Delaney Hall is like owned by this private for-profit prison company called Geo Group. And it's under a massive like contract. It's like a 15-year contract. It says here it's under $1 billion. So, in America, like Liam said, like we have a very interesting way to do like a prison system, and it's like based off like it models like slavery, right? And this is exactly that, right? So, yeah. Anyways, I don't have anything else to do or to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think you all bring up really great points. It's crazy how I didn't know this was a thing, like a protest thing about this place. It happened about a year ago. I saw some videos of it the other day, but it's just crazy. I think, Christine, you brought it up, how they're pepper spraying lawmakers, and just, it's very fishy on how they're going about, hiding what's happening in there, because I think that's, if they let those lawmakers in, they would see that, and it would become people would know what it actually is, what is actually happening. So there's definitely a reason behind that from that end. And also, I agree, if this is going to be a thing that has to continue to happen, unfortunately, like, why are we keeping them there for as long as they have been? Just, that's a lot of the issue in and of itself. But yeah, I mean, it's really weird and really odd how the contradictions between them, and obviously this is just like our entire country as it stands is just walking contradictions of itself. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that. I know, Liam, our next topic, you have something on the war in Iran.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to bring back an update. I know that it's kind of on the forefront of everyone's mind. We've still got um, two other real big conflicts that don't involve the U.S. going on right now that people seem to care less about. But yeah, the United States and Iran is what I want to talk about specifically. And as of most recently, Iran striking Kuwait. Um, so this Thursday, Iran launched missiles at Kuwait uh, in violation of their most recent ceasefire. They attacked an American base that was stationed in Kuwait, and at this point, it really looks like it's tough sailing for any sort of peace resolution between the United States and Iran. That's really because, the United States condition for ceasefire is that Iran gives up a lot of its sovereignty that it doesn't want to give up. They want Iran to back down as a regional power. They want them to not be able to develop uranium in the idea of building a nuclear bomb. And the big issue here is that this war isn't slowing down, and there's still the Strait of Hormuz to consider. Gas prices are still on the rise. People are running out of gas. The UK has told people that they are going to need to start working from home because they don't have the gas to fuel cars that would be going into work. These places that are impacted the most, the countries in Europe, well, not countries, but Australia is a big one, countries in Southeast Asia, South American countries. Cuba was already gas starved because of all the sanctions that it's received, but that's another country that's basically in total blackout because they don't have gas to power their energy infrastructure. But yeah, I just want to bring this back to the forefront of people's attention because Iran isn't a country that's on the brink of surrendering. They're a country that's still being defiant. And I got a post from the Ayatollah come up across my X timeline, and I'm just going to read it right now. Quote, "It's essential that all those willing to sacrifice for Islam and the revolution, or their hearts are committed to Iran's independence and honor, make even greater efforts to safeguard national unity and not permit unjustified or even justified differences to escalate into division." He's calling for more reunification, and the IRGC has been a very divided. It's been in a very divided state since we took out their previous Ayatollah, and they've been kind of operating under a factionless system. So when Trump says that he's close to a deal with Iran, however much truth there may be in that, which I'm not sure that there's any truth in that. Whatever truth that is in that's only a small part of Iran that he's talking about when he's talking about these negotiations. I've seen some people say that that means that President Trump is kind of playing the IRG against itself, as some factions are willing to work with the president and some absolutely won't under any conditions. Um, so I've seen some people say that it's a smart move by President Trump trying to sow division between these factions of the IRGC, but I don't think that's it at all. I think that Trump really has no handle on Iran as an entire country, and is working with these flimsy factions that really don't have any leveraging power over the entire country of Iran, what they're doing in the Strait of Hormuz, or any of the going-ons of this Iranian conflict. So while I turn it over to you guys, I want to ask what you think the timeline is for Iran to potentially go to the negotiating table, or if you see them coming to the negotiating table at all.
Well, that's a loaded question. Layered one. I mean, I feel like they do a good job at sitting there, and like, I'm not saying they do a good job at like getting anything done, but they definitely like sit there and as a concept think about it for sure. Like, as of yesterday, May 27th, like there was a cabinet meeting for all of like what was talked about, right? And um I think like, do I think they're good at negotiating and like they're like, international like relations and policies, like, and conflict mediation? Like, no, I don't think that's like a thing that's going very well for them. But I also think like in part, is like also what you mentioned is like we have a leader here, like from our country, our president, who is like taking a strategy that to me feels very like unorthodox, and it just feels very interesting. Like, I remember like reading about this yesterday, like after their cabinet meeting was done, and essentially like, they like he President Trump like quoted directly like, you know, unless they don't follow through, like, we have to finish this job, right? And then he like prefaced that, this is not only for the good of the U.S., but the good for the world, because they have these nuclear powers that, they may utilize and they may continue to inflict their themselves like onto other countries, such as what you just talked about. So, you know, um, yeah, I don't think they're really good at this game. I don't think they're really good at like the whole like international law, like interpolicy, like negotiation. But I also don't think, like, I think the reason that this is because like the way it's being approached, the way it's being like talked about and whatever, like, it's, I think this, both on their parts, like their approach is like pretty unorthodox, and it's like coming from like a very like a great aggressive, abrasive, close-minded almost type of thinking, because to me, this is me, I think is very odd to approach an international conflict, right? With the mindset of like, well, I must finish them, right? Like, there is like, Truth Social posts, saying like, tonight a village will die. Like, it's like these like very abrasive, like aggressive, like claims that are very black and white. And then you have like also a country that is just like so not with it, like, and I mean, I don't know. I also think like their relationship, like, politically, like, it's always been really interesting. If you've ever seen, like, them interacting, like, at press conferences or, like, whatever, like, they're kind of weird. They're, like, a kind of weird pair. Like, the girls do be fighting, and took it, like, very literally this time. I mean, like, we saw it back in, like, last June, right? Like, it already kind of happened, and they were like, oh, well, and definitely, like, their priorities are, like, a little strained, and as a result, like, it's, like, branching out. And I also think, like, okay, like, I have to bring it up, so sorry, but, like, Israel, is also, like, a key player of this, and, like, that's why we are seeing, like, Iran, like, branch out to, like, Kuwait, right? Because Israel just sprayed white phosphorus on Lebanon, like, last night. So, like, it was last night. So, like, there is, like, this, like, chess game, but we're not, like, really looking at the full picture here, I think. Because, like, the only reason why this, like, like, started and went on was, like, last June. Iran was like, you're doing sketchy things with Israel, and I don't like Israel in my bloc. And so they started bombing stuff. And now it's like, oh, you're still doing things and puppeteered. So now I'm going to, like, keep bombing you and take things away from you. So, yeah, those are my thoughts and your very layered question, my very layered answer.
I think you guys all both bring up good points, Liam. That is, like, an insane question. I mean, like, it's just so much back and forth, and, like, our little fragile ceasefire that we have. You're like, oh, you did something earlier this week, so I'm gonna retaliate by doing it back. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like they would be willing to negotiate. It's just if both sides can agree on conditions and if both sides will follow through with that agreement. Um, I it's just something we'll have to keep an eye on. It's it's just like, I don't know. It just seems like, oh, you're doing this, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna keep doing it. But we're gonna keep saying we're in talks, but we're just gonna keep bombing each other. So I don't know. It's just when we're actually gonna sit down and, like, make something that we both happen to agree on. But yeah, definitely a developing thing that we will continue to cover and keep our eye on.
Yeah, and I wanna bring up the timeline just one last time real quick. And and this is over a decade now. But Obama signed something called the Iran nuclear deal. And Iran was never going to build a nuke. They had oversight to making sure that they were using it purely for nuclear power. Trump comes into term and he tears that up. And then, so what does Iran have free reign to do? They now have free reign to build a bomb. And then subsequently, they start developing a bomb, and now Trump is mad at that. So this is definitely something that was very much so caused by Trump's first administration, and there's no one to blame. If you didn't want Iran to have a bomb, Obama's deal was perfect in that regard. There were other things that weren't as great with it. Why Donald Trump tore it up, but it was solved in the capacity that we're trying to solve it now. So this was a problem that was solved that we have absolutely messed up.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing to bring up. And to me, that just makes it seem like, okay, this was semi self-inflicted. Um, and you have to look inward in that sense. But I think both in both of these countries are playing chess, and I don't think they really know how to play chess. I think they're kind of like, I think it's very much a, oh, I just want to talk to him, I just want to talk to him, but it's like, oh no, I actually, like that meme, I just want to talk to him, I swear, but it's like, I want to go fight this guy, type of thing. And I think it's very much that in the sense of they're both like just totally blindsided by the power aspect of it and having power over the other. And so it's like, okay, I'm gonna bomb one country, but I'm gonna show you, like, okay, you bombed one country, now I'm gonna come back with even bigger bombs towards another country. Like, I'm more powerful, I'm stronger, type thing. So I think in terms of getting a negotiation, part of me thinks they're kind of like entertaining each other with saying they're talking, and really they're not. Right now, to me at least, it seems very unlikely and kind of almost a miracle if they came to a conclusion on something that they agreed upon. 'Cause they just seems to be on two opposite sides of just the spectrum here on what they think should be kind of the ceasefire agreement or any sort of peace agreement. So I think that's just, like you all have said, something we need to keep an eye on. Something I cannot foresee going away anytime soon. Which just affects so much else of the world and all of our daily lives. With the Strait of Hormuz still being closed and not in the gas kind of continuing to rise, and then, eventually for places it's running out. So I think, yeah, it's a really, I cannot see any sort of negotiations truly becoming, I don't know, set in writing, at least for a very long time, unfortunately. But to kind of move on to our final topic, Christine, you have something a little less heavy than the last two we've talked about, with the American Music Awards, which happened this past week.
Yes, guys, welcome to our pop culture part of Pirate Report. So the AMAs took place, I think it was the 25th. And we're just gonna go over some winners and some notable moments. It was hosted by Queen Latifah in Las Vegas, which I think is very fun. I think that's a very fun part. So some of the biggest winners included BTS. They did their performance of their song Hooligan. They won Artist of the Year and Best Male K-pop Artist of the Year, which is insane. And they also won Song of the Summer for their title track Swim. And then Cat's Eye was nominated for Best New Artist, Best Music Video, and Breakthrough Pop Artist, and they won every single category they were nominated for. Sabrina Carpenter obviously was winning for Man's Best Friend. She won the Best Female Pop Artist, Best Pop Album, and Album of the Year for the album. One of the interesting things to me for the AMAs is they have, like, a tour category, which I was always curious on how they, like, it's fan voted, obviously, but, like, how do you measure out how good a tour is? Like, oh, I just liked it, I don't know. But Shakira won that one, which is fun. And I think Benson Boone won for, like, Breakthrough Tour, which is crazy. Like, Breakthrough Tour is an insane category, but he won, bless him, because he be doing flips and stuff, so, good for him. One of the most talked about moments is that Taylor Swift was not in attendance, and she was nominated for, like, 8 categories, did not win anything, which is kind of crazy. But she wasn't there, so it wasn't too embarrassing for her. One of my favorite moments was, Black Eyed Peas won, like, Best Throwback, or, like, I forget what the category is, like, Best Throwback or Nostalgic. They won it for Rock That Body, and they reunited with Fergie for, like, the first time in a while. And I was like, oh, look at the 4. I was so happy. It was so cute. And, yeah, Billy Idol won a Lifetime Achievement Award, which is fun. A lot of K-pop takeover. Like, Song of the Year was Golden, which is, like, honestly, it's not fair. A lot of the other songs in the categories, I believe, like Mutt by Leon Thomas, and then just a lot of viral songs were nominated, and it's just not fair because Golden was just everywhere. Like, I host birthday parties at my job, like, I've hosted, like, 500 K-pop Demon Hunters birthday parties for children. Like, it was a massive takeover, and I feel bad for every other song in that category, even though there were some really good ones that I feel like were really iconic. Yeah, they got beat out by K-pop, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunate. I'm a fan. But I was just wondering if you guys had any favorite moments, or like, do you think anyone was snubbed? I'm gonna kind of open the floor to you guys.
21 Pilots, they were there. That's all I kept up with. And they performed. That's it. That's all I don't know anything about the AMS. I just saw that and I was like, oh my God. And they like performed and it was like really cute because like last time they won, which was like 10 years ago, I believe. The Blues drummer was like, I hate being in public. This sucks. I hate talking to all of you. But if we win again, I will maybe perform in public and sing. And this year they sang together. And I thought it was really cutesy because they were like staring at each other. They were like just looking at each other while performing because he has really bad I guess like stage fear. Which like me too king. And that's like all I kept up with the AMAs, which was 21 Pilots. So 13-year-old me was very, very excited for them.
Wait, that is actually insane. No way Josh Dunn and Tyler Joseph were out here singing together on stage. I was like a really like big 21 Pilots fan in middle school. I kind of lost track after Trench because I was like, okay guys. But I just remember like, oh guys, like Josh Dunn gonna sing on this album, and then it like got leaked and I listened to it and I was like, no vocals were here. But now that you just said that, like I have to look up that clip and I'm very excited. That's insane.
I'm kind of surprised. I just might didn't really get all that much hype from Bruno Mars. You know, it was kind of like a one-off and was very early in the year, but you know, I feel like so much of this stuff is just what's good now as opposed to like, you know, what was good, what had longevity. Um, so I think a lot of this gets caught up in the now hype. So I was disappointed that didn't get really any recognition at the AMAs, but yeah, I agreed with a lot of what was going on. I don't have a whole lot to say as far as the AMAs. I did not actually watch it, but yeah, a lot of great recognition for a lot of great songs. But yeah, no, that's my one hiccup with this is it's a lot of what's popular right now, and it's a very weird time as well because um like we're not even in summer and we already have the song of the summer. Like like that's always something that's weird to me when we talk about the AMAs. Like, what, you're telling me the song I have to listen to for the next 3 months? But that's just my gripes with the AMAs. I think they should be like midsummer, like in the heat of summer. That way we actually get some of these like we actually can see who's listening to what as people go out and they go to places that are playing music, and you actually get the economic drive behind some of these songs. So people are actually like paying for what they want to listen to, and then we'd actually get a better scope, because I feel like during the winter people are more on repeat and comfort songs as opposed to newer songs, and then you finally get the summer when everyone's listening to radio, everyone's out doing something, and you get a better scope for how these songs are actually doing. But that's my take.
And I think that's such a good point, because I'm very big on that, like, the trendiest songs aren't always the best songs out there. And, yeah, like, you saw a lot of those win. I don't really like country music at all, but that one, Choosing Texas song I saw one, and I cannot stand that song. So, sorry, I mean, if you like that, great, but to me, that's just not my type, not my jam. But I saw, Bad Bunny won a few awards, which we love to see. We love to see it. And in terms of like the music I listen to in the alt rock category, Somber took home a lot of awards. Um, Breakthrough artist, I think album, song, like, so that was interesting to me. Especially when you had, I know Ricky, you share the sentiment, like the new Tame Impala album we both loved. So like, a little surprising that one didn't win, but um, yeah. And I think that's gonna be it for us today on today's Pirate Report. For more coverage, make sure you tune in next week and check out our Instagram page at WSOU News. Shameless plug. But yeah, thanks for listening.